I'm just making sure I have sound on this video, unlike the last one. Jesus. Hey everybody, my name's Chris Lambert, co-host of Watching the Throne, a lyrical analysis of Kanye West, the number one Kanye podcast. And as I adjust this mic, this is the Kanye West news rundown for Wednesday, July 11th, 2018. And it's a pretty light day insofar as Kanye news. The highlight probably is Francis and the Lights talking about Kanye and a dope cover of Paranoid. But we'll get to those. So let's start first. If you're into the Kanye romance and want to read all about them, there's this article on Elite Daily. Are Kim Kardashian West and Kanye West compatible? A matchmaker explains it all. The short of it is yes they are. But I think, from the eye test, we all know that already. A little bit of tangential Kanye news. Kanye West's Yeezy model arrested for using dead man's debit card after a prostitution date. And if you've ever been curious, you may recognize these sisters. They were part of the recent Yeezy Season 6 lookbook, which had naked people wearing shoes. That was essentially the entirety of the photos, and they were the sisters, identical twins, that were hugging each other and had a few photos together. And it turns out that in 2017, Sinead stole the debit card of a man who died from an overdose while having a date with her, or before the date took place, but the night that she was meeting up with him. And she took the debit card and racked up $20,000 worth of charges from it. If you ever wanted to see the conversation between an escort and somebody arranging that, this is that. So you now can study this in case that's something you are inclined to do. And so that's the thing that happened. This is the, whatchamacallit, Callie Uchis, I don't know how to say her name, covers Kanye West's Paranoid for BBC Radio #1 stream. So she says the 808s and Heartbreak was a major influence for her, and you can actually listen to her perform this really haunting, slow version of Paranoid that's pretty beautiful. Not entirely my cup of tea personally, but beautiful nonetheless. I'm always down to hear a cover of Kanye songs, so definitely worth giving a listen to. This is an article from Tone Deaf, a little summary of Kanye West's last few months by Phoebe Looms, and it's just kind of recapping in very short order the last 5 months. Man, I'm sorry, I'm just a little stunned because the title made me think it was going to be more, right? A little summary of Kanye West's last few months, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be like 1,000 words detailing everything. But no, it's legitimately just a little summary. Like a very, very little summary. That's not hyperbole. That's not downplaying it. It's just a very fucking accurate title. So if you want the quickest summary ever of the last few months, that's that. So this is more of a audio version of an article that we talked about yesterday, which was the complex story, The Untold Story of Pastel, Kanye West's first clothing line, by Cariza. So if you want to listen to her talk about it, this is the way to do it, rather than reading like the 10,000 word article that she published. Though the article has all the pictures, so definitely at least check out the article. So that's something else. And then this is Francis and the Lights, Francis from Francis and the Lights, who did a Reddit AMA and got asked a lot of questions about Kanye. Team Kanye Daily, as they often do, were very helpful in providing a recap. So first off, we have somebody asking, how did you and Ye meet? And it's cool because, first he had this experience in 2008, the day after graduation came out, where Francis was just bussing tables at a restaurant and got to see Kanye and Kanye's entourage and try to hand off music to Kanye. This gets cut off at the bottom, but it says, Virgil was extremely gentlemanly and took down all my information and asked me to tell him what kind of music it was. I didn't meet Ye again until 2016 at the aforementioned session. So 8 years went by, and in that time, Francis went from busser at a restaurant to musician to somebody that was able to work on music with Kanye. So we talked about the 2016 session where he got to meet Kanye again, and that was because Nico Segal and Chance the Rapper invited him to a coloring book session with Ye. Kanye said, watch out, Frank, there's a new Francis in town, or something to that effect, which you can just imagine still makes Francis probably so fucking happy. What's your favorite memory of you and Kanye hanging out? Bamrocks01 asked. And Francis said, we stood outside his house in Wyoming the morning of the last day of Ye. Myself, Boogs, Sakia, so sorry. And Mr. West talked about, Mr. West talked about how he is like a tree. And then Bamrocks, for all of us, followed up with, thanks for the reply, like a tree as in he branches out into different genres, career ventures. That's a pretty funny yet insightful story. And Francis, being the sweet, sweet man that he is, responded. Not everybody responds to follow-up questions on AMAs. Like a tree in that, like some of the legendary trees, the world simply won't allow it to be chopped down. Damn. Also in that, by living, he's providing humanity with some essential ingredient. All the while, he absorbs the negative output of humanity, which gets at trees absorbing, carbon dioxide and producing oxygen. So Kanye views himself as being, I guess, a kind of dark knight that receives the vitriol that people need to pour out and challenges them, provides music, provides thoughts, provides clothing, fashion, changes to the system that make everything better. Also fun, and you can climb all over it if you're a little kid. So that's how Kanye's a tree. And then we had two more. Kevin T2122 said, really big fan of your work. Keep up the great work. Is there any details you can tell us about Kanye's original Wyoming album before he scrapped it for Ye? How hectic was it helping Kanye make the new album in around 1 month? If you weren't making music, what would you be doing right now? And to that, Francis responded, the whole he scrapped it for Ye thing is a bit hazy. I think Kanye has been progressively getting more real time with his music. Of course, the music had to change because of all the intense emotional things happening at that time. And somebody else followed up, I be hop to school. Commenting again, 2 questions. When Kanye redid Ye after TMZ, did you already have the I Know recorded? And that's the I Know from I Thought About Killing You. Or did you record that in that 1 month period? On the original scrap version of Ye, did you have any production credits? Hello again. I recorded I Know about a year beforehand, and I knew it was for Ye from that moment on. I also weirdly thought it had something to do with Drake, but man, I had no idea. Which I don't know what to make of that yet. If that's saying that Kanye and Drake maybe had a little bit of a beef going back into 2017 that Kanye was going to address, but maybe not. I think, or maybe it was something that, it was at that time that Kanye and Drake were maybe going to release something together. I think it was 2017, wasn't it, that we got the hidden, or Calabasas is the new Abu Dhabi that had the OVO owl and a Kanye logo. And then we got Glow, which seemed to be part of these sessions that Kanye and Drake had been doing together. So maybe that's what Francis means, rather than the I Know was supposed to be some kind of antagonistic song pointed at Drake. I think the original scrapped version of Yay is more of a myth headline than something real. And I think, from my understanding of the situation, and this is from talking to somebody that had been on the audio engineering team that worked on Yay, that there was a version of the album with different music, but it was the same themes, concepts, overall idea, but the details of that idea and the soundscape of that idea changed in the wake of everything with TMZ. So as Francis is saying that he knew it was for Ye, I think that kind of confirms that the general goals that Kanye had, emotionally, philosophically, were always there, right? It's just he may not have had a wouldn't leave the way that he did. And part of the reason that I feel pretty confident in this is that we know that Ghost Town was a song that inspired Kids See Ghosts, and that's from the source on the audio engineering team, and that Kanye and Cudi started working together in 2017, that they went to Japan to work with Murakami, I think it was at the end of the summer or sometime in the fall, because Murakami was going to be doing the art for Kids See Ghosts. So they had the idea for that album in mid 2017. And if that album was inspired by the song Ghost Town, that means that Kanye had the concept for Ghost Town as early as 2017. And that he had Francis recording something for what would become Ye in 2017. So I think that sonically there probably was something that Kanye was fucking around with that would be that original version, but that elements from that, parts of that, the concepts from that are still what we got. It's not like he was going to release a Yeezus 2 and ended up releasing Ye. It's like he was going to release Ye, but give it maybe a slightly different sound, maybe a slightly different track organization, things like that. So, oh yeah, there's one more. Sorry. Vargas 2023 said, I'm absolutely obsessed with the production in I Thought About Killing You. Are you going to release something more of it? I would love to listen to it. And Francis said, I don't know. Like what? The original vocal performance? It's okay, but it's kind of rambling, and Kanye chose the absolute best part, as he usually does. Which is funny because the part he chose was just, I know. I think it's so perfect as it is, and it's so much more than I ever could have possibly imagined. It's like the craziest Kanye song ever, and that beat me and Mike D made at the end is bizonkers. Bizonkers is a word I've never heard. I'm glad that Francis has introduced me to it, and I too love I Thought About Killing You. In our list of Kanye songs, that we've ranked from the podcast that we've done, I think it's 92 or 93 at this point. I Thought About Killing You is currently my top one. It's just doing so many of the things that I love from music. So it was cool to see some of Francis's answers, to get that backstory on him and Kanye. Yeah, and that does it for this episode. If you want to support us, the easiest, simplest way is to help us monetize this channel, and that happens by subscribing. We need to reach 1,000 subscribers, and we're at 563, I think. So if you could just hit subscribe, that would be awesome. And if you want to throw some money our way, you can do that by buying one of these shirts where all the money goes to us. We have a clean and explicit version of this Runaway shirt, which I gotta say is a damn beautiful shirt. And then we got a Hold My Liquor shirt, which comes in 2 different colors. So you can get one of those if you want. And then we also have this goddamn Yeezus book that's available. And the book is pretty fucking awesome. It's an explosive view of one of the most hotly debated rap records of all time. So it's me, Travis Bean from Watching the Throne, as well as Donald Martin from The Most Unruly, and Martin Connor, editor-in-chief of Rap Analysis. And this is the book. It's pretty beautiful. It's a lot of pages, and it has art in it, original art by one Fabian Louis. And it's just a complete sonic, thematic, and narrative deconstruction of Yeezus, and doubles not only as a collection of, I guess, our work, and is the most comprehensive analysis of Yeezus as a work of art, but also is a collector's item. Having all these art, I think it's something like 20 images that are inspired by the album that are put in throughout the book, as well as all the cool design elements. So it's not just something to read, it's something to kind of like flip through and enjoy. It explains the album, it explains the tour, and also gives just insight into the creation of the album and the tour. So get that too. And otherwise, that does it for this week. I'm away for the weekend, but we'll be back on Monday with more Kanye West news. If you have any content you want me to make, if it's a video addressing a specific album, a specific song, a specific Kanye moment or topic or article, let me know as I just hit my keyboard and I'll get to it. Otherwise, thanks for watching and see you next week. Cheers.